back with another video, and today I want to talk about voting for the presidential election. And I want to just provide more information for those of you who don't know like when the dates to vote, like early voting in your state. I believe some voting has already started, which I see on my page. I will see if I can include a clip recording my screen. But yeah, so like this will be an easier way for you to check and see if you can vote already. Sorry about that. Okay, so I want to start off with the first early in-person voting starts in Alabama on September 9th, which already passed. Also, next is Minnesota, South Dakota, Virginia, and Wyoming had their in-person voting starting September 18th. Then next is Vermont, starts September 21st, which already started. And then next, Missouri started September 22nd. Next, Illinois and Michigan started September 24th. Next, Connecticut started yesterday on October 2nd. Today I'm recording on October 3rd. Next, California, Iowa, Maine, Montana, Nebraska, and South Carolina starts on October 5th. Indiana and Ohio start October 6th. Arizona starts on October 7th. New Hampshire starts October 10th. Then my state of Georgia starts October 12th. Kentucky and Texas start October 13th. Kansas, Rhode Island, and Tennessee start October 14th. North Carolina starts October 15th. Washington State starts October 16th. Massachusetts, Nevada, and New Mexico start October 17th. Alaska, Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, and North Dakota start October 19th. Hawaii, Louisiana, Utah, and Wisconsin start October 20th. West Virginia starts October 21st. Florida, Mississippi, and New York start October 24th. Maryland starts October 26th. The District of Columbia, DC, starts October 27th. And Oklahoma starts October 29th for the early voting. So if you're in your state, if it hasn't started yet, make sure you register to vote ahead of time. If you're registered, if you moved different addresses, you have to change that, or otherwise you have to wait a certain amount of days for that to be changed. Then next, there's a list of dates for voting by mail that I have here. Let me see. Okay. So the deadline to request a ballot for voting by mail, I believe, yes, is they hasn't started yet for any states, but the deadline hasn't ended for any of the states, but the first one that will end is in Kentucky, and that ends October 9th. Rhode Island ends October 13th. Maryland and New Mexico end October 20th. Missouri ends October 21st. Sorry, Siri is triggering for some reason. Indiana ends October 22nd. Arizona, Idaho, Nebraska, Texas, and Virginia end October 23rd. Alaska, Florida, and Iowa end October 24th. Arkansas, Kansas, New York, North Dakota, or no, North Carolina, not North Dakota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee, and October 27th. Massachusetts and West Virginia, and October 28th. Alabama, Illinois, Maine, and Wisconsin, and October 29th. Delaware, Georgia, Louisiana, Michigan, and South Carolina in October 30th. Ohio ends October 31st. Ooh, on Halloween. Connecticut, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, New Hampshire, South Dakota, and Wyoming in on November 2nd. And I think, yeah, those are the states that have the furthest out deadline. And when ballots must be postmarked. So that means I think it says it here. I think that's when you, I can't remember, let me look online. A postmark is an official postal service imprint applied in black ink on the address side of a stamped mail piece. A postmark indicates the location and date the postal service accepted custody of a mail piece. Okay, so it's whenever the I think this is for the people to send it to you, I think, for the yeah, like them to send like get it to the post office when the post office receives the ballots, I believe, because it says when ballots must be postmarked. So there's 2 dates for that: Alabama, Iowa, North Dakota, Ohio, and Utah have a date of November 2nd for that. And then all the other, it says all the other places, I mean, this is not all 50 states because I can see it, but I'm wondering if some states are not required to have a deadline for that. I'm trying to see, because I believe I don't see, even on deadline to request a ballot, I don't remember calling Hawaii, or I think like if you don't hear your state, I believe there's probably just no, there might be, I think there's certain states that you can't request a ballot, I believe. It says a majority of Americans will be eligible to vote by mail, although many states have deadlines to request mail ballots less than 2 weeks before Election Day. But like, I believe there's, not all states have, you can request a ballot. And then for like I guess the postmark stuff, I don't believe you need to know, but I will show it just in case. And this is when ballots must be received. So like this is sending, okay, so never mind. You do need to know when ballots must be postmarked. So that's when you send it to the post office, and the post office marks the date to send it out. Oh wait, I don't know. It says, and then I'll just go over when ballots must be received. So focus on when they're received. So November 2nd, Louisiana and Vermont, the ballots must be received. The Postal Service recommends that voters allow 7 days for a ballot to be returned via mail if the state requires the ballot to arrive less than 7 days after its postmark deadline. Voters are advised to send it earlier. Then there's a whole bunch of states for November 3rd. This is Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Maine, Michigan, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Wyoming must send their ballots, or the ballots must be received November 3rd. Texas, ballots need to be received on November 4th. Georgia, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Virginia must be received November 6th. Iowa, North Dakota, West Virginia, and Wisconsin must receive the ballot by November 9th. Minnesota, Mississippi, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, and Utah must be received November 10th. Alaska, District of Columbia, Maryland, and Ohio must be received November 13th. California is on November 17th. Illinois is on November 18th, and Washington State is on November 23rd. And they also have the list of the presidential debates if you're interested. The first presidential debate already happened September 29th. If you missed that and didn't see like the different memes or whatever about that, like basically they have a list of questions or whatever for each president to answer, and then to debate against each other. And that was on September 29th. The next debate is the vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris on October 7th. So if you want to watch that, you can. Second presidential debate is on October 15th, and the third presidential debate is on October 22nd, which is pretty cool. Okay. And if you want to know the general election day, if you haven't, it says election day, if you haven't done the early voting, and it says if you haven't voted yet, you can go to the polls to do so in person. If the race is close, a winner may not be announced on election night. So this is November 3rd. So if you could not do early voting, if you could not vote by mail, you can go in. By the way, early voting, you go in physically to a specific location. So you can search in your area, just kind of search like early voting locations, and then your area or something like that. Maybe your county, or maybe your city, and it will give a list. It should give a list of different locations that you could go to. I believe it's less locations than the general election, based on what I saw for where I live. So general election November 3rd. So I would recommend try making it too early, just in case, as like if that didn't work out, if you weren't able to make the early voting, then you can make it to the election day. So yes, so I hope you guys found this informative and this helped you with figuring out like what to do, because it can somewhat be like complicated, but it's just kind of this is very helpful in like putting everything on one place for you. And I hopefully that if you're not in the states that early voting hasn't passed, you're able to take advantage of that now if you haven't voted already. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.